Hey guys, Cam McClellan.
Al Lewison.
Welcome to today's Wealth Pod.
Heaps of questions, guys, since yesterday's WOD on selling property. We let it slip that Cam's recently sold and bought, and lots of questions come through about what he did, what his strategy was, and just all around people going, what's come up to really. So,
Alright, cool.
we talk about your strategy.
Alright, so give you a bit of background. So Felicity and I built our current or old home in 2006, bought an old Edwardian, kept the front facade, knocked the rest down, built brand new. Felicity loved the area, so she loved local schools, close to trains, shops, sporting facilities, all that sort of thing. Literally, a big lake at the end of our street. So she wanted to stay, and she gave me about 2 streets that I was allowed to buy in because I wanted to build something bigger and get larger land. So I started knocking on doors over the last sort of 2 years, just saying, hey, generally, is anyone keen to sell? No one is, pretty tightly held suburb. So we got to the stage where we were going to knock this perfectly good house down and build again. It was going to go full basement car park and 2 levels. Just as we'd spent about 30 grand on geotechs and engineering and architects going through designing a new house, the monstrosity came on the market. So it was a very large bit of land with a really large house on it. Felicity's putting her stamp on it with the interior designers and that sort of thing, but the strategy that I used is what's important. I knew that in a hot market in Melbourne, that at that end of the market where I was buying, there could quite easily be people who were richer than myself going in and wanting that property. So I knew I had to take it. It was going to auction. I knew I had to take it off market and I had to get it sold before auction. So local school group, we know a number of agents in the local area, so I know 2 or 3 agents pretty well. But the agent selling this property that I wanted to purchase, I didn't know. So I got them both in, and the agent that was selling the property, they've been award-winning agency, and the individuals won the Real Estate Institute of the year after year, so very astute agents. So I knew I had one chance to get this thing and get it fast. So I said to them, I wanted to offer them an appeal to the one thing that would make them act and make me get that property before anyone else. I had to give them 2 licks of the ice cream. So what I did was, I said to them, I've got a mate who's an agent, and my house here is going to go up for sale. So I'm going to buy this other property one of 3 ways. I'm going to buy it at auction, and if I buy it at auction, I'm going to give my other mate this place to sell. I'm going to buy it through a silent bidding scenario that you might put to me, and if that's the case, I'm going to put this property to my mate to sell. But I said to him, if you go and get me a contract tonight and bring it here and we sign it, the deal's done, you get to sell my place as well. So I offered them 2 licks of the ice cream, appealed to their greed, which is the only thing I had. So that's what happened. They got me a contract that night, we signed off on it, deal done.
So Cam's strategy, he's bought 2 houses in a similar way, and I've sold at auction and Cam sold at auction on the weekend. And the one thing I remember from my auction is, and I do it day to day, but once you're in place it's emotional, especially for the wives. It's nerve-wracking. It's a nerve-wracking experience getting to auction day. So the strategy of go in with a reason, you need to put offers in prior to auction.
Really good point.
Get them to the vendors who are selling. Let's assume these people are 50, 60-year-old husband and wives who, don't buy and sell things every day. They're nervous about the auction. So if you're going in as an example for a strategy when you're buying something that's coming up to auction to live in, never buy an investment property at auction, you go and you make up, I like this house, I want to buy the house you're selling, but the week before there's a property going to market. I'm not going to miss out on both, so I'll have to buy that one, which means I'm not here for you. Here's my offer.
That's the same strategy I used in 2006 with my the old place we just sold. So I found an auction that was, the house I wanted was an auction day, and I found a week before another house which had an auction day. And I said to the agent, I want to put an offer on that one, but I'm not going to miss out on this one. So it makes them think they're going to lose me as a potential purchaser.
The other thing, guys, with agents, a lot of times when the market's hot, especially I'm talking Melbourne here, it's good for them, for their brand, to get to auction. They'll be discouraging you from putting offers in prior.
Yeah.
Here's a little tip, guys. If you put it in writing on their contract,
good tip,
they have to present the offer.
Yeah.
They cannot not show it to the vendor. They might be able to go there to the vendor and say, look, don't take it, we suggest there's better around, but you're appealing to the vendors, not to the agents.
Yeah, exactly right. So selling my house, a couple of tips on that the auction. So this is if you're considering auctions. Here's a couple of the strategies that the auctioneer used. They worked out with one of the buyers that they talked up one of the buyers and ended up being the guy who purchased the property. So it's my old house, and they said to him, "We want you to start the bidding." So they talked up one of the buyers. They also said, now I had a strategy that basically I was going to put a reserve on it, which was a lot higher. For me as a seller, this is an ideal scenario. It's not very nice for people bidding, but I wanted a reserve that was so high that I was basically guaranteed that it was going to get passed in. I could then grab the highest bidder and negotiate with them silently to get them up and get them up as high as they can to squeeze every last dollar out of it. I ran that scenario past Felicity and she freaked out. Basically said I was crazy, and I told her, I said, "This is what I do. This is all I do for a living, just trust me." But she still wasn't happy with it, so I said, "Hey, if it's going to cause you stress, you set the reserve, I don't care." So she set the reserve price, all worked out in the end. But one of the strategies the auctioneers said to use was, they said, "Hey, have you got a mate, if it does get passed in, have you got a mate that can hang around out the front and talk to the auctioneer while I take the highest bidder inside, just get him to hang around out the front, and as I'm negotiating with the highest bidder, we can say, hey, if you don't get your bid up to that guy out there, he wants to buy the property. So if you walk away, that guy's in line, he's going to buy the property today. So you negotiate now and don't leave." So just thought that was a nice little staging exercise that they were ready to do. What else they do? Here's a great tip if you do happen to be buying your own place. The guy who bought the property ended up being an agent. He was an agent for about 20 years. He's a retired agent. His strategy, I think the price got up to whatever level, and it was sort of, there was about 8 or 10 bidders, got up to a certain level. Really loudly, he yells out, "Hey, what's the stamp duty amount at X $1 million?" The agent goes, "Well, that's not my problem, that's the government thing." And he goes, "Yeah, no, that's all right. I just wanted everyone to think about the amount of stamp duty they're going to have to pay if they bid any more." Okay, what a great strategy for making people think about their budget.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was good.
Yeah. So, guys, that's basically the story as it unfolds. Hopefully that gives you a bit of insight into both buying and selling, a couple of different strategies.
And into the life of Cam.
Yeah.